Hi everyone, nice to see familiar faces and some new faces here. I think around this time at ECC last year, it was all about account abstraction, a lot of account abstraction meetups, and this year it's around the same, but with chain abstraction instead. So hopefully that indicates some progress in this area, like towards the end goal, which is good end user experience and seamless new experiences for users on Web3. Right, so I think, excited about our panel today. I think we can start by having everyone do a bit of short intros on your project.
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Daniel, product at Argent. Some of you might maybe know us as one of the smart wallets, the first smart wallets in the Ethereum ecosystem. I'm mainly working on mobile. Excited to be here, and if anyone is building consumer apps using account abstraction, I definitely want to talk to them.
Hi everyone, I'm Jess Holgrave. I'm the CEO at Wallet Connect. Wallet Connect has been around since 2018, connecting apps and wallets together. We do that with a wallet side SDK integrated by a lot of wallet partners. And then we also have something called AppKit, which allows developers to build great onboarding experiences as well.
Hey everyone, I'm Ivo, the CEO and co-founder of Unbuyer Wallet, and Unbuyer is also one of the pioneers in the account abstraction space, also one of the first smart account wallets on Ethereum, and right now we're building an extension which implements something we call hybrid account abstraction, which combines the best features from EOAs and smart accounts. So pretty excited to be on this panel to explain how we help solve the chain abstraction issue.
Hey everyone, I literally pitched Dynamic 5 minutes ago, but I'm Itai from Dynamic. Again, I'm going to take the opportunity to pitch it again. We do everything that has to do with onboarding, so everything when you click login with a wallet or login in general on the site, creation of wallets, logging with third-party wallets, that's what we do, dynamic.xyz.
Hey everyone, I'm Chintan, Head of Engineering for Coinbase Wallet and Smart Wallet. Itai, thanks for pitching that a lot in your last presentation.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it. Really excited to be here with OG Builders. At Coinbase, we've been focused on our self-custody EOA wallet and moving into smart wallets. We launched that recently. And the goal for us is just bring billions of users on-chain in the most user-friendly, easiest way possible.
Cool, so going into our first question, I guess, what does a user-centric wallet mean to you and your respective projects? And how are you building towards this future?
I think from my perspective, to the core, it basically means taking ownership of the issues of our users, right? So I think especially in the early times of crypto, right, wallets were often like, here's your wallet software, install it, and then everything is your problem. Right? You were expected to load your funds into it, sign random stuff, connect to it on the internet. People who were not technical didn't even understand what they were doing. And then wallet providers often acted like, when you're scammed, it's kind of your problem, right? So I think that is really a very good example, right? If our users get scammed, that's actually our problem. And we as a wallet provider, we need to make sure that this doesn't happen, that the user has the information they need to decide, should I sign that message, should I connect to that debt? And that also means, because last time I checked, the world is not running on crypto yet. I mean, we are a big industry, it's growing, and it's getting more important every day, I hope. But we also need to anticipate what the new users that don't use it yet will have, right? So we need to go out, not only talk to people that are interested already and are here, but to the people who are not using crypto already, and see what problems they will have and solve them before they have them.
I guess probably as not a wallet, I'll share our perspective, which is that all of the user research points to the fact that many people want more than one wallet. They want different wallets for different things. What I store my life savings in is probably not going to be the same wallet that I'm using every day to play games. also may be different from what I'm eventually going to use to buy my coffee at the coffee shop. So in a world where we're going to have multiple different wallets, the only way to give a great user experience across that is to create standards that allow really easy interoperability with applications so that people can communicate with one another really effectively. So for us at Wallet Connect, what that means is looking at the future of user experience. What standards do we need to work on in partnership with many of you in the room already and people on the stage and the rest of the community, so that we can think about how we build this in a way that allows user choice when it comes to wallets, but also make it really easy for app developers to build. And that can range from security standards through to just different types of messaging, reducing the number of clicks that users have to go through when they're connecting their wallet. There's a whole range of things, but I think ultimately the data points to more different wallets coming online, and that's an ecosystem that we believe in supporting.
So I completely second what Daniel said, but also what I want to add on top of this, from my perspective as someone who's built a wallet and launched it and solved the user problems for 2 years, is that we in crypto kind of have this toxic culture of not exactly blaming users, but maybe perversely having fun with users. Like, for example, when someone gets wrecked, we all kind of low-key are laughing on Twitter and sharing the story, and there is some kind of perverse enjoyment in that. And this is kind of the root of the problem, right? Because what we actually need to do is realize how the user interfaces and how the user experiences are empowering those things to happen. Because the reality is all of us are stupid as users. There is no such thing as a stupid user. You can never judge the intelligence of someone who is like behind the computer or behind the mobile phone based on what they did. And the reason for this is even smart people, when they're in a hurry or not really focused on what they're doing, can make super dumb mistakes. So we just need to assume that there's no such thing as an actually stupid user, but the user will always behave in the maximum stupid mode, right? And we need to optimize for that, and we need to figure out how to protect people from themselves and figure out how to streamline the entire UX in such a way that people don't get wrecked, right? So, yeah.
Yeah. So I think everything you guys said is true. I think I would divide the world into two, and I think I mentioned this in my deck before, but I would divide the world into wallets where the wallet is the product, and wallets where wallets are infrastructure. Right? They're very, very different. In the wallets as a product, I 100% agree, right? The goal is it needs to create an experience that's user-centric, right? Where essentially, to your point, folks feel safe, even though it's non-custodial. They feel like they can do things very easily. They feel like their intents are understood and they can take action, and they feel like they're not being laughed at if things go wrong. There's a second part of the world, which is wallets as infrastructure, and they're user-centric wallets, in my opinion, are wallets that you don't actually need to know exist. Right? And the best experience is one where a wallet does its job without you needing to know it exists. In this very same way that an average user does not need to know what ACH is when transferring money, and does not need to know that OAuth is the way you connect your login with Google. It just kind of works. And so for those types of wallets as an infrastructure, the user-centric UX is one that abstracts as much as humanly possible from the user in order for them to just do the action that they want without needing to know it's a wallet. So they're kind of actually, my point is that essentially this was a very long way of saying they're very distinct, two completely different use cases, one of which the wallet has to do as much as possible for you, and one of which is the wallet has to abstract its existence from you as much as possible.
I love that, and that really resonates. I think taking a lens where at Coinbase we can see normal retail users onboarding to our exchange, buying Bitcoin, Ethereum, whatever it is for the first time, like let me dip my toes into crypto, and then we take them all the way to the other extreme, let me buy a shitcoin or a meme coin. What is a native token? What is gas? What is the signature I need to do? And we can see this whole user journey, right? And the user-centric wallet, especially for this audience, is not the audience we need to onboard. It's everyone outside this room. And they're barely starting at what is Bitcoin, what can I do with it? What is Ethereum, what can I do with it? And user-centric wallet products are very opinionated, let users easily swap, bridge, send, etc. But as infrastructure, normal users, normal human beings don't care what a wallet is, right? And abstracting that away, and that's why like at Coinbase we have both our product, our Coinbase wallet, and the infrastructure, Coinbase Smart Wallet. One like example from just several hours ago, which I think is fascinating, we're running this coffee shop over at the main venue, Base Cafe, and seeing like the brightest minds in crypto coming, trying to pay for coffee with some USDC. It's a wild experience to see. Wild. One, folks are shocked that they can use crypto at a crypto conference. What? I can use my crypto? That's a major mindset stuff we need to change. But two, like seeing how different wallet products are opinionated and all the stumbling blocks users run into, swap, bridging, no native token, etc., the brightest minds in crypto are having this problem. Paying for a simple coffee, we have a lot of work to do to get everyone else onboarded too.
I'm curious for Empire and Argent, and maybe Coinbase is you also have both a wallet as a product line and also wallet as infrastructure. What's been the biggest learnings over the past years that you've been building in terms of through different evolutionary stages of the wallet UX cycles? And are the UX problems that we're seeing today, is it more sort of like legacy tech debt that was rooted in design decisions early on in the days of Ethereum? Is it like a product design decision of like mainly engineers building these things and not really talking to users? Yeah, just curious what were the biggest learnings there?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, one of the biggest learnings maybe goes back to what Chitan just said, right? So it's not the people in the room that we need to onboard, it's everyone else. That was maybe different a few years back, right? So when the whole movement around crypto got started, it was more like, let's onboard people who are interested in already, make it usable for them, make anything almost. But I think today, like a lot happened, like in the last few years, right? So we are in a very different stage, and I think we actually need to start thinking about not ourselves anymore as the crypto industry, as wallet companies, but it's actually the reverse, right? So we need to start getting rid almost of all that jargon that we started building up, that we put in front of users, and we need to start becoming more like, we are a company, we are building something, and there is a technology part of it that maybe sets us apart. But no one, I mean, maybe outside of this room, wakes up and says like, oh, I need a wallet, right? No one needs a wallet. No one, I mean, and we have tons of wallets. So first of all, we don't need a new wallet. Maybe we don't need a wallet at all. And what we really want to build also at Argent is something for you to really own your stuff, right? So your wallet is the name we gave that, but that is what it's really at the core. And no one wants to sign anything, no one wants to approve anything, right? All of that needs to go into the back. And that is, I think, something that over the last few years became way, way, way more important, and that is something that we really need to start attacking now to make this usable for everyone and not, for certain slice of the population that is an in-crew and knows how stuff works. No one should have to know how this works.
I can jump in really quick too. I love that. I think this panel title should be renamed, instead of user-centric wallets, should be renamed Nobody Needs a Wallet. Because that's the problem we need to solve, right? So I have a quick poll. Y'all are at the conference, awesome. How many of you have tried onboarding someone not in crypto in the last week? In the last month? Not in crypto, like mom, dad, grandparents, whoever. In the last year, who's tried onboarding? Okay? And everyone who's tried onboarding, raise your hand if the other person was like, wow, this was a great experience. This is the problem. We can't keep onboarding ourselves, our own stats. We need to onboard everyone else out there. So for example, I think the big shift to your question is we're all great at building infrastructure. We're all great at building like intents and solvers and solve this really great market maker use case. We're not really great as like, what is a consumer's job to be done? What is the actual use case that this person out there on the street needs that crypto makes better? That's the constant question to keep asking yourself. And that's where I think a flip has happened in the narrative, where a lot of infrastructure is great, L2s are cheap, things are fast, et cetera, gas is really not an issue anymore. What's the actual use case? And I think that's been the big flip, at least for us at Coinbase, where it's like, we have base, cheap L2, what are the jobs to be done? How do you make someone pay for something in a really simple way? Buy coffee, buy ice cream? How do you do remittances? We launched this like send via text feature. You can onboard anyone in the world with a text message. It's still new and scary for many people out there. So just simplify, simplify, simplify.
So I just wanna add an anecdote. I can talk to you about technical debt that we incurred over the years that prevents adoption of stuff like account abstraction, but that's not the point here. The point is actually what everyone else on the panel has been saying, the philosophical depth that we have, and the things that we just accept as normal, which normal people do not. So like the anecdote is I've tried to onboard people and I see what they do, and like for example, they have, let's say, 200 USDC and they send me 100, and the change is not immediately reflected in the dashboard, right? So that's something that we think is normal, right? But it's completely not, because that person now thinks that they've cheated the system and that they can double spend now. So yeah, I'm gonna have a presentation later on how we solve this problem, but that's a good anecdote on what we take for granted that actually isn't good at all.
I think that's a good segue into the next question. The nobody needs a wallet idea is that, so Wallet Connect as middleware that connects any wallet and any dApp. I think that paradigm is sort of translated into the users today, right? Like there's historically been a clear line of separation between what a wallet and a dApp is, and with the emergence of embedded wallets, now it's sort of the lines are more blurry. So how have you seen the relationship between dApps and wallets evolve over time, and what are some of the challenges in like coordinating the different APIs and like different things they have to adhere to?
So I think like creating the world of embedded wallets solves one problem, right? Which was the onboarding problem. It then created this whole set of new problems, which is that users have got dust amounts of crypto in many different places. They don't even know where their wallets or where their assets are. They can't access them. It's really painful. And actually it doesn't feel at all like a Web3 experience, right? You can give them some of the benefits of Web3, but actually, and this isn't the case for everybody, but there are some people who really care about those core values of Web3, and that's why they want to see this technology adopted. When we launched our embedded wallet within our app kit, we launched that as a universal wallet, so you could use that wherever you are. And we also launched with that something called graduation, knowing that maybe it's only a small percentage of those users who want to progress to self-custody, but giving them a really easy path to doing that. And prompting things like, okay, maybe you hit X amount in your wallet, you might want to learn about different types of wallets out there. So I think there's this path that we can take users on, firstly. The second thing is, we, as a network, Wallet Connect is very agnostic to the types of wallet that people want to use, which is why we've partnered with Safe on smart accounts to deliver those. We support the Coinbase Smart Wallet SDK. We are here because we believe that the crypto and blockchain is going to be everywhere. Many people are going to use it not knowing that they're using it every single day because of the infrastructure that everybody here is building. But we still need to have this sort of range of choice that's out there. And so when we think about what we're doing, a lot of it involves standards, because if you've got this range of experiences that you can provide to people, it makes it very difficult for app builders if they've got to do these things one by one. And so the mission of Wallet Connect is to simplify that for app developers, but also for wallets as well.
Maybe I'll just add one thing. I think to the original question of, there used to be a line between dApps and wallets, and now it's getting blurred a little bit. I think in the last cycle, my observation is that, if you're OpenSea, if you're Magic Eden, if you're Uniswap, if you're one of those giant players, you kind of brought a bunch of users to use you, and then you kind of gave them away to a MetaMask or a Phantom very quickly. It gave away a bunch of this value that you have as a company accrued, right? And we can argue whether users are value, but you kind of gave that away. So all of a sudden, you as kind of an OpenSea or a Magic Eden or a Uniswap think, well, why am I giving away my users to a MetaMask? Let me now create my own ecosystem around me, right? And you're really seeing that, right? Magic Eden has a wallet, and Uniswap has a wallet, and I don't know the outside looking in. Boy, am I going to place a bet that OpenSea will have a wallet, right? And so you're starting to see kind of, if you're big enough, you want to build ecosystems around you, right? And that will blur the lines even further. Of some of these embedded wallets aren't just embedded wallets on their own, but rather it's the first step into a Uniswap app, or the first step into a Magic Eden kind of wallet, or the first step into an OpenSea wallet. So I think that line will get even blurrier over time, where some of these bigger players don't want to give away their Legos and kind of want to own more of their ecosystem and own more of the share of wallet, no pun intended, or like a little bit, no pun intended, share of wallet of the wallet. For their ecosystem. So I think that'll make it even more interesting for the next couple months.
Truly of the UX stack. Just to riff off on that, I think in terms of UX improvements that's been enabled with things like account abstraction over the past year, a lot of dApps are now sponsoring the first few transactions for their users. When we're talking about thinking about the jobs to be done rather than what can we build, we're like a year and a half in now from when 4.3.7 entry point went live, and had about those 14 months to sort of really discover what it is about AA that users want, because you can't go to a normal your mom and dad and sell account abstraction to them, right? What is it about account abstraction that we've kind of discovered in terms of the value proposition for the users over the past year? And curious to hear about it from Coinbase or Dynamics perspective.
So yes, there is no way I'm selling AA to my parents or anyone. It's they don't need to know about it. I think the reason, some of the things we've seen as beneficial in moving the AA route with Coinbase Smart Wallet. So one, sponsoring gas, right? That's a no-brainer. It's cheap. Don't let users worry about what even a native token is. Get them onboarded with their first transaction. Make it magical, right? And we all should know native token for gas has been a big impediment, but it's still not enough. So then what? I think the second thing we've been looking at deeply is the seed phrase problem, right? And obviously it's great. No one with AA folks don't have to worry about the 12-word seed phrase. That's cool. I think that's more cute for Coinbase, just because of the spectrum of Bitcoin, Ethereum holders and the exchange to more degen crypto forward folks. It's more acute for us just because we see that spectrum and we need to respond to that spectrum. I think funding though, I think Jesse was saying, we solved the onboarding problem mostly, but funding becomes extremely, extremely hard. So one of the benefits of smart wallets in using AA is you can link now, at least with Coinbase Smart Wallet, we have this thing called Magic Spend. You can link into your Coinbase Exchange account or any other payment method. And normally, if you have a new wallet, if you spin up a new wallet and you want to fund it, get the address, go to your exchange, go to your ledger, whatever it is, wherever your bags are, copy paste, double check, triple check, send it over to your new wallet. Wait, okay, fine, yeah, I'll come back. Okay, great, it's there. Crap, I forgot to send myself some gas. Crap, okay, now I'm ready to go on this dApp. With Magic Spend, we just set this payment method. It can be a Binance exchange, Coinbase exchange, Apple Pay, whatever it is. And when you're in a dApp, let's pick OpenSea buying that NFT, The transaction's generated, it pulls in real time from the payment method, creates the transaction, and submits to the mempool. So you've taken away 3 to 7 steps. That's pretty magical. And then I think you start seeing now, you fixed onboarding, you fixed funding, you fixed seed phrase problems, cool. Now build some amazing like consumer apps. Now build like more features where I could get my kids onboarded with like spend limits, right? And vaults and unlocks, right? So we start seeing like this whole new paradigm of these different user ops that like just make better consumer experiences and more. You bring like these banking concepts in to the Web3 world, and it's okay. I know I said it, but it's okay. It's okay to bring these familiar concepts like, yeah, don't let this wallet spend more than $500 no matter what. That's an okay thing that normal human beings want.
Maybe I think two things. First one, I think Magic Spend is one of the most underrated features that honestly exists today. I would be surprised if we don't see everyone try to build their own version of Magic Spend over the next 6 months. I think I don't think the market has realized the power of, hey, I've already KYC'd on a place, and now I can one click use it anywhere in Web3. And so I think, side note, in the next panel in 6 months, let's see how many wallet companies implement their own version of Magic Spend. I think the way I think about account abstraction is exactly what you described in the banking side, which is I think about account abstraction as a policy engine. Essentially, account abstraction is not a wallet. It's really putting a policy layer on top of your existing thing. And policies are super important because the way you treat a wallet that spends $1 or has $1 is very different than the way you treat a wallet that has $10,000. And the ability to dynamically, pun intended, essentially create these policies that adapt based on what's in the wallet or what the wallet is doing is extremely powerful. And so that, in my opinion, like the killer feature besides gasless transactions and things like that is the concept of session keys, is the concept of kind of abstracting away most things and then giving users controls, or developers, by the way, controls for those users sometimes, for what is easy to do, what is hard to do, and what is, and the trade-offs between them. I think that's extremely powerful. The rule engine, account abstraction as a rule engine is, in my opinion, significantly more interesting than account abstraction as a wallet type thing.
So currently, account abstraction is achieved primarily in like a chain or ecosystem-specific environment. So I'm curious to hear about, particularly for Ambar and Argent, who have been building, smart account wallets and AA, particularly for EVM. How are you guys thinking about chain abstraction? What does that mean to you, and how do we sort of extend the seamless UX to things like cross-chain, cross-ecosystems, like on Solana and like Cosmos, Bitcoin as well?
So that's a great question, and also I would say really challenging, but I would tie it into the previous question. And the way I would do this is account abstraction is kind of in a very difficult place right now and kind of nowhere, and the reason for this is that everyone has been building these wallets which optimize for retail, which optimize for people who are new to the space, and that's the way we've been thinking about account abstraction as something that would magically solve all of the issues of retail. But the reason this is not happening is precisely the chain fragmentation issue, because that alone breaks the whole UX for people who are new, and that alone pushes them to centralized exchanges. So the way we've been thinking about it at Empire is one of the very cool features that we have, which is, by the way, very similar to Magic Spend, which is also amazing, is that you have this thing called a gas tank. And once you deposit funds into it, you can use those funds to pay the fees on any single network. It doesn't matter. And also give people some cash back from their first transactions, actually from all transactions. So the UX looks like you make one transaction on Ethereum, you pay it either in a stable coin, you pay the fee in a stable coin, and you get enough cash back so that you can send transactions on any other layer 2 or roll up or even other layer 1s if they're cheap enough. And that way we completely remove the need for having a native asset, which is a big showstopper. So that's one way we've been thinking about it. There are of course other ways. There's something we call hybrid account abstraction. I'm not going to get into it, but basically it combines the best from UAs and smart accounts. One example is having the same address on each chain. So just removing little things like that and setting the stage for stuff like one balance, which is an account-centric model. So yeah, basically setting the stage.
I mean, I think I fully agree with Ivo here. Account abstraction and chain abstraction really go hand in hand, right? So ultimately, what we need is, generally, we need to abstract from a lot of the complexity, right? So we first of all, self-custodial wallets need to provide an experience that is at least as good as what people are used to from centralized exchanges. But in reality, actually, we need to be better than banks, right? And I think there is no future where we can achieve that without account abstraction and chain abstraction. I think missing chain abstraction, or basically the fact that a user has to care about what chain they're on, is, I would call that a bug in the current crypto user experience, right? So no one, except for someone who is farming, which, yes, I know that has been kind of the meta for a while now, really should care about the specific chain they're on, what L2 to Ethereum they're on. They should, and that is, I think, also true for most people, like in the wider world, they care about use cases, right? So what can they do? What is the problem that I need this specific thing to solve for? And yeah, that will only work if we don't have to care about chains anymore. And I think we will see that going away completely in the next maybe 12 months.
Gotcha. I think we're running a bit low on time, so last question for everyone here. In 6 months, what challenges are you hoping the industry will overcome in terms of like infrastructure, in terms of standards finalization? Is it 7702 being merged? Is it like coming to consensus with permissions? How we handle permissions as an industry? So yeah, just sort of hopes for the next 6 months. And how that translates into like a UX change for users.
I can start. Thank you for giving me the mic. So you already kind of answered the question for me. It's 7702. And the reason why I believe it's important is that we already covered on this panel, we have very strong arguments that account abstraction is needed. But we also have proven data from Ambire, from Argent, and from everyone else in the account abstraction space that it's a huge challenge to get people onboarded if they have to move funds to a different address. Building in the wallet space is already hard enough in that you have to convince people that they can trust you, because no one likes putting their life savings on a product that's not familiar to them. But then also adding the extra layer of having to move your funds and staking positions and etc. That adds a whole new hell to it. And even in the first month that we launched in December 2021, those were the first questions by people. Why can't I import my JSON from MetaMask? Why am I seeing a different address? Is that different? Who controls this different address? Do I have to like move my funds to use it? So I think 7702 is one of the brilliant ways to solve this, and I'm very much looking forward to it. And it's moving quite well.
I'm going to give the other side of the take. So all about 7702. I think totally agree. We need to support it. I want to give the lens that's not 7702, because all 7702 does is keeps people that are already onboarded in the ecosystem, not bringing in net new, right? So I think what we're excited about is that net new frontier as well. And that net new frontier, what that looks like for us is there are more consumer-facing apps using Smart Wallet that can run as PWAs, that are magical and delightful for the end user, that don't require a wallet to even be funded, and the user can earn ETH or whatever it is without funding their wallet. MoshiCam is a great example, consumer-facing app built on Base. Pop it up, go to moshi.cam, take a picture, send it on chain, and you start earning immediately. And I think that's what we're excited about, where like the world really opens up now that we have cheap L2s, easy onboarding, and SDKs where it's just a couple lines to like create a dApp that has wallet support.
I guess I'm also very excited about 7702, but I think, and everyone's mentioning it, I'm really excited about permissions and some of the things that can be enabled by that, particularly because I think payments we know is one of the killer crypto use cases, and yet there are many forms of payment today that we can't do. So things like subscription payments, rolling payments that today are a little clunky, I think will really be unlocked by some of the work that combines smart accounts and permissions.
Maybe I'll just say one last thing. Two things. First one is, one of the coolest parts about my day is that I now wake up in the morning and when I open my iPhone and there's a full page of apps on my iPhone that leverage dynamic, that feel like Web 2 apps, look like Web 2 apps, Web 2 type experiences that are crypto powered. I really hope that in 6 months that single page turns into 3 or 4 pages, and in 12 months or 18 months or 2 years, pretty much when you open your phone, every app on your phone is going to have a crypto component to it. And you might not know about it, you might not care about it, but it's going to be there. And it's going to be the way you do multiplayer mode across apps, and it's going to be the way you transfer money globally, and it's going to do a bunch of these things. And so that is the thing I'm excited about. The second thing is I am really hoping that in 6 months I don't have to read a new EIP every day. It's great, it's fun, but let's maybe do one every 3 days. So that's the second part I'm excited about.
Yeah, I think I agree with Ita and Chitan here, because I think last year everyone was talking about 4337. You know, we had panels like these, it was all the rage. Then everyone went home and built infrastructure, right? So we now have a lot of infrastructure. We have SDKs, we have a new EIP that we are discussing, but I actually hope that people will really build consumer applications. And that we see real cool stuff that gets people as excited as it was maybe when DeFi was first a thing, because I think that is really what the space needs. New innovation that really has the gravita to pull in new people, and now is the time to actually do that stuff.
All right. Yeah, I think that's all the time we have time for. But yeah, thanks for everyone for listening, and we'll be here on the stage.